Hello, Fleet Ready fam. Welcome to Fleet Ready Gaming. My name is Savad, and welcome to another episode of Patch Notes Watchout. We have a new patch today, Monday, February 6th, 2023. And, as per usual, CIG has been making sure there's consistent updates coming out for the PTU. So, let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so patch notes. They're not even doing letters anymore. Still only set to wave 2, but let's see what they managed to have gotten done in this over the weekend. So, known issues. Horizon Transit shuttles will cease to function or get stuck. This has been going on for the last couple patches, and I've seen it occurring on a couple other streamers on YouTube, as well as I've had it happen to myself once. For the 890 jump mission, it's the 890 jump is not spawning in. That's definitely a breaker for that mission. For network desync, excessive delays of accepted missions showing in mobiGlas. That's been an issue that's been going on for a long while, even in the live version. I'll try to accept the call to arms mission, and I'll have to go back and do it 2 or 3 times before it finally shows up in the accepted mission area of the contract manager. Rescue service beacons corrupts and becomes square or block characters while downed at mission locations. I've seen that a couple times. Glad to see enough tickets have come in to get that issue seen at. Snub fighter for the constellations is still cannot be interacted with, making it unusable. Full salvage RMC canisters still cannot be attached to salvage or multi-tools. Scanning still not showing advanced statistic and details. Elevators and trams are still jittery. Anvil Carrick is still having issues with being salvaged. Let's see. Valkyrie bottom turret is still locks and makes players invisible. Certain shipwrecks are still giving the no material text and will not let you salvage. Meanwhile, certain vehicles, destroyed vehicle thrusters are still not functioning after being repaired. Fully loaded C2 landing at Area 18 results in slow frames or crash. Still having the issue of flying near another ship, seems to hit an invisible box that kicks it in random directions. That one seems to be sticking around. High capacity cargo vessels, when loaded, can cause severe performance drop on both client and server. If a player is plushed in Clusher after being rescued with a crime stat, the players respawn in the facility still incapacitated. That one's been sticking around for the last couple patches. Under Breach and Steal, the target reclaimer October Rising will disappear when you get close to it, making the mission impossible. Oof. A couple missions going on that are having issues. Meanwhile, for cargo inventory, selling some of the cargo while the vehicle is stored causes the vehicle to show at max inventory capacity. Also, large amounts of cargo sold at once will cause the transaction to fail. The cargo will be taken, but no money will be given. Oof. A lot of cargo bugs this patch. Stolen cargo does not behave as such and can be sold as legal cargo if the ship with the cargo is stored. In terms for cockpit actor animations, occasionally unable to exit ship seat. Haven't ran into that one yet. Hopefully that's a smaller one. Infinite black screen unloading into Clusher. That's definitely a big one. Aesop. Ship duplicated when left somewhere and shard change happens and file claim on Aesop. Yeah, I've had that happen. Elevator issues. Players can fall through elevators. That's nothing new. Lifetime management. Sustenance. Items are not destroyed. Clean up to the persistent limit when in a vehicle after streaming in the area out for 16 minutes. Rest stop R&R. The player is unable to call elevators from hangar interiors. Yep, that one's been going on for a while. Lorville is also having the issue. I haven't really had it at any other landing zones, but Lorville seems to be persistent with elevators not wanting to come when trying to get to your ship. Vehicle docking. A retrieved ship delivered to a docking port will be missing collision. And multiple locations ASOP terminals. When storing a ship, the ASOP terminal will set the ship status to claim instead of retrieve. A lot of bugs in this patch, definitely, and hopefully they'll be able to, get these worked out this week and looking like into next week. Moving on, for the feature update of the patch, they removed the Drake Cutter, Drake Corsair, and Anvil C8R for in-game shops. I'm curious why they did that. I know the Corsair didn't come in with the correct in-game price. It's cheaper than what they intended, but hopefully this is just a temporary thing, and they will return in a future patch here this week. In terms of bug fixes, pretty small list today. They fixed part of the breach and steal missions with the ship disappearing. That's weird that must be a typo because that was up higher. Did it get fixed? Is it still there? What's going on? Is there multiple reasons why it's happening? And so they fixed one of the reasons. Interesting. For active feature and law, players are not spawning into Grimhex when dying with a crime stat outside of monitor space. That's good for criminals. They'll now be able to spawn properly. After an ungraceful disconnection upon loading back in, the player's spawn may not complete, resulting in a failed load and a 30k error. I'm glad to see that fixed. For the 400i, applied paints were not applying to the exterior face of the airlock. For the Parasite helmets, the helmet graph appears distorted after viewing an external camera once. Small one, but good to know that got fixed. Meanwhile, Clutcher Rehabilitation Facility player will not have the armor equipped that they were arrested and once released. So people who have served their sentence get their armor back. That's good. Again, another thing that was up above but says it is fixed. Fix the bottom turret lock and makes players invisible. CIG, I think you need to have your editors come and double check what's going on, or state that this is a separate entry for the same issue. Moving on. Distortion damage taken to the unshielded top of the reclaimer causes massive drop of client and server FPS on demand. Glad to see that got fixed. I actually did see this happening in a server where a player was in a reclaimer and a bunch of pirate players were trying to overtake it. And indeed, the server FPS dropped dramatically. Moving on, infiltrate and defend mission content UI. The objective UI can disappear when approaching the objective area. Good thing to have UI working. Glad to see that's been corrected. Lagrange points. Ships can explode from collision with invisible asteroids. Yeah, invisible asteroids are never fun. It's interesting to see when this type of bug creeps its head around. It's not the first time that this has happened. I remember when interdictions were first introduced, and there was issues with invisible asteroids as well as just being dropped right in front of massive asteroids and being unable to avoid them. but glad to see that they have worked that out. On the technical end, 3 client crashes were fixed, as well as 3 server crashes. So overall progress being made, not as much as previous with the bug fixes and a little bit of confusion there with some of those still being in the known issues. Again, hopefully we'll see the Drake Cutter Corsair and the C8R back in the game shops here later this week. But with that being said, that should do it for tonight's video. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps the YouTube algorithm spread our channel across Star Citizen related content so others can find us more easily. And if you feel like we deserved it, consider subscribing to us. We're a small channel looking to grow. Our goal is set to 100 members by the end of the year. We're currently sitting at 29 members, and it would mean a lot for us. We enjoy making the content that we do and want to bring more to our community. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll have more content out here soon. And I hope you guys have a wonderful night. That being said, have a wonderful night. Peace.